FitMC. What's going on, everybody? This is FitMC, and today I want to get all of you caught up on what has been happening on the server the past few weeks. So much has happened in such a short amount of time that I'm going to try and cover as much as possible. The topics I'm going to discuss today are my 1v1 versus Fuze, the Incursion's failure versus the anti-Incursion, the anti-French attacks that have been happening, the super weapon attacks happening at 0-0, the 1.13 update delay, the Ender Pearl change, and last but certainly not least, a powerful new weapon never before seen on 2B2T. Oh man, I can't wait to tell you about it. But first off, Fuze has accepted my challenge to 1v1 on 2B2T. He's been getting assistance in acquiring items and has been practicing his combat, both classic and crystal PvP. I formally wished him luck on Twitter, but as you can see, he still needs some practice. He has complete support from his fan base, so I expect things to get pretty crazy. I will keep all of you posted on the fight as it gets closer. Fuze, I wish you luck. May the best man win whenever the time comes. Next, I bring you all news in regards to the Incursion versus the anti-Incursion drama. It's no secret that the Incursion has been hurting as of late. The anti-Incursion once again attacked a major spawn base belonging to the Incursion. Everybody at the base was wiped out and the Incursion supplies destroyed. Now this is a really recent development. As of Sunday evening, the Incursion has formally been called off and has been labeled a total failure. Longtime 2B2T player Sato wrote up a huge post on the 2B2T subreddit detailing what went wrong. Long story short, a player named Jared2013 tried to take total control of the Incursion from the other leaders, and is the one responsible for initially kicking out the members that would form the anti-Incursion, and was also responsible for kicking out the YouTubers, myself included. After trying to kick the other leaders out of the Incursion using fabricated evidence, he was demoted and kicked from the Incursion. His erratic behavior damaged the Incursion beyond repair and divided the community. The more responsible leaders such as Henry, Coltsnid, Diello Tai, and Thieves and Sound decided it was best to end the Incursion and focus their efforts elsewhere. The 5th and the 7th Incursions were both led by Jared, and both were failures. But despite the Incursion ending, the efforts of myself and others to fight the French have not ceased. We can't allow Team Baguette to gain any advantages. Last week, we blew up a supply depot that was being used by Team Baguette live on stream. 1,500 people were watching as we blew it all to smithereens. Tracking down French bases has been quite a challenge. Due to the language barrier, extra social engineering has been required, with numerous spies infiltrating the French-speaking discords and patrolling the greater spawn region on 2B2T. But speaking of attacks, one of my previous predictions came true. When I originally discussed the mass distribution of 32K swords, one of the things I was worried about was widespread usage of them at spawn, potentially starting a 32K war. Well, with all the conflict near spawn these days, we are starting to see them being used both offensively and defensively. Here's footage of an Incursion member being wiped out with a 32K sword. All totems popped. While they are still somewhat limited in their usage, players are already using strategies with them in order to get kills. There's already a chance that 32Ks are in French hands. Will House find a way to nerf them again? It's hard to say. Even if House pushed to nerf them even harder, 2B players always find a way. Next, I wanted to discuss why the update Aquatic, or Minecraft 1.13 in the Java edition, has been delayed for 2B2T. We are quickly approaching the end of October, meaning that my original prediction of a late October release date is no longer accurate. The reason why Housemaster has not updated the server yet is because Spigot is still running into problems and has some major bugs. Considering how unstable an 8-year-old Anarchy server is on a normal basis, trying to update now could prove catastrophic. House is waiting until a stable release of Spigot 1.13 is ready before even attempting a server update. So how much longer must we wait? At this point, I've given up guessing. I'll just be happy to have it before the end of the year. But speaking of the 1.13 update, last week, Thebes made a discovery about Ender Pearls and the 1.13 update. Now, as a bit of backstory, there is a method of traveling extreme distances instantly on 2B2T using Ender Pearls. How it works is that you throw a pearl into an unloaded chunk, or simply somewhere where the pearl is unable to touch the ground. From there, you leave the chunk unloaded until you feel like returning to that spot. You have an alt account or a friend load the chunk for you while you are online and in the same dimension. It will teleport you to where your original pearl lands. By using an alt account at each destination, it's possible to set a pearl in each location and travel back and forth instantly, saving countless hours of travel and allowing millions of blocks to be traveled instantly. Now that you roughly understand how it works, here's what Thebes has found. Once 2B2T updates to 1.13, every single thrown pearl that is still suspended will forget its original owner. What this means is that if you have thrown a pearl in 1.12, that pearl will no longer belong to you in 1.13, and it will do absolutely nothing once it hits the ground. If you currently use pearls on 2B2T to travel, I suggest that you take the proper precautions and load your pearls in the near future, as House could begin the update process without warning. Travel safely, comrades. Don't get stuck out in the millions. Finally, there is a brand new weapon that has been discovered on 2B2T. Hypothetically, this weapon can be used on any server that supports Minecraft Java version 1.9 or above. Players have discovered how to use a bow to instantly disconnect someone from a server, and in 2B2T's case, put them back into the queue. It's being nicknamed the Kick Bow. I can confirm the existence of this weapon because I've used it. I was researching it, I looked into the exploit, and I found out how to do it. It works. I would rather not discuss how it works because it has been useful for sending French players back into the queue. But I know some of my more Java-savvy viewers out there can probably figure out how it works. Those that know how to perform this exploit are keeping it under wraps because the issue is something that has no easy fix. It's an issue with Java Minecraft itself. All I can say is that if you don't have priority queue, be extra careful around spawn these days. And speaking of queue, you may have noticed over the past few days that queue times have been much longer than normal. This is because someone has been putting bot accounts into the queue, essentially clogging it up like a backed up toilet. This has especially made the kickbow all the more annoying for those on the receiving end. What's going to happen with this kickbow from here on out? I guess we'll see, but this is pretty much all of the important information that I could squeeze into a 10-minute video. I wanted to make sure that all of you got the necessary information without being too drawn out. And that's it for this week's video, everyone. Remember to subscribe to stay up to date on all happenings here on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft. If something major happens, I will definitely keep all of you posted. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both in the description of the video. With an incursion in ruins, a foreign fighting force reinvigorated, new deadly exploits around every corner, and my eventual confrontation with Fuze, things are about to get interesting. Stay alive out there, FitFam.